Remember years ago buying a new game and the plastic case felt a little heavier than it would today because the game came with a manual? If it was a game by Rockstar, then you could be sure that the manual would not only just give you instructions on how to play the game or include a little background information on the story or lore of the game. The manuals were basically in-universe magazines or newspapers. Liberty City Stories was the first proper GTA that I actually owned myself and didn't just rent or borrow like I did before, and I thought it was so cool how the manual was basically a copy of the Liberty Tree, which is supposed to be like the New York Times in the GTA universe. Vice City Stories gave us a tabloid magazine and another great read. Going a bit further back, GTA 3's was a little basic, but that could be forgiven. I mean, it was 2001, and it has a classified section, so it was still sort of like the start of this trend among Rockstar's manuals. Vice City and GTA 4 were both tourism guides to the respective cities they're set in. Episodes from Liberty City was like a magazine, and San Andreas had some kind of Yellow Pages-style instruction manual, a local business advertiser's guide. My guess is that they did this because San Andreas had so much for the player to do compared to GTA 3 and Vice City that it was worth showing off basically everything new that you could do in the game, and the easiest way to do so is to give you a booklet that shows an entire list of in-game businesses and how they work. Even non-GTA titles had this style of instruction manual. Look at Manhunts, for instance. It's written like some kind of underground catalog selling very illegal items like snuff movies and weapons, and it even leaves you with a little warning about finding it, hinting that it's not a very well-known catalog in circulation, nor do the creators of its content want it to be. It actually really suits Manhunt. It fits in with the atmosphere and story of the game about as well as the old promotional website for it that was styled after a dark web forum did. I gotta say, I really miss viral marketing like this. You just don't see this kind of effort put into the marketing for a lot of games like this anymore. Even Manhunt 2, which is probably one of Rockstar's second worst games in the 2000s, that had an interesting manual. It was some kind of top-secret medical dossier for the game's protagonist and the experiments that he both conducted and underwent. It even does a little more to tie Manhunt into the GTA universe by showing that Manhunt 2's protagonist originally came from San Fierro, but now lives in Manhunt 2's vague southern location. And how about a non-Rockstar titles manual, like Saints Row? Volition really put a ton of effort in this manual. It's 35 pages, it's written like a police dossier, and the writer is most likely one of the characters in the game, Troy, an undercover cop. I like how even the image that shows off the controls looks like it was torn out of a Best Buy ad for an Xbox 360. But that was the 2000s. Fast forward to today, and what do we get? No manuals. I mean, sure, that's some nice artwork that we get to look at, but there's even still clips for where the manual theoretically should go. It's like it's incomplete. Now it just feels like I'm getting a product with something missing, except this can't be sold to us later as DLC. I think these clips mostly are just saved now for stuff like little pieces of paper that have codes written on them for you to download any extra content that you get with the game. You can only imagine my surprise when I saw that GTA 5 didn't even have a full manual for the game. All we got was this little 5-page pamphlet with no unique theme or anything. It's definitely not like their previous instruction manuals, and it tells you to go online for the full one. Red Dead Redemption 2 didn't even have one, and that could have been based on a newspaper from 1899. So why are companies not giving us paper manuals with their games anymore? At first, I thought that maybe they're just trying to be eco-friendly and use less paper, but if that was the reason, they wouldn't be using plastic cases, would they? We'd be going back to using cardboard boxes like Nintendo 64 games if they really cared about their carbon footprint. In the end, I think it's all down to just them trying to save on costs. Printing out all those manuals are an additional expense on top of everything else that's involved with publishing, so maybe they just feel that it's something they can do without nowadays. By the way, GTA 5's quote-unquote manual does have a link for an online manual, so you could just look it up on their website or download it. I mean, I get it, we're in the digital age and they want to make it convenient for everyone, but looking at it on a screen just isn't the same to me. I much prefer to having a booklet to having yet another thing taking up space on my phone. Plus, it's back to basics for the GTA 5 online manual. It's not in the style of previous GTAs, it's literally just called the manual. It's like a Seinfeld episode title. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest, but what do you guys think? A lot of you are GTA fans. Do you miss the old instruction manuals that Rockstar and other companies used to make? Or am I the only one who misses them because it's one less thing to read in the bathroom?